there it is. Okay, it's working now. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, now we got it going. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late here. Let's see. We got Dennis, we got Sam, we got Mitch, we got Ray, we got. Well, now my music has stopped. Why is my music stopped? Why has an error occurred? Oh my goodness. Everything's going wrong tonight. Let's see, what did I got? We got Ray, we've got Garrett, we got Mr. Says, we got Ted, we got Scott. Good to see you guys all here tonight. Hope you all have hope you all are having a good night. I know all of you who jumped over from Paul's stream have had quite the night. So tonight, now I've got something up on my screen. We'll talk about that in just a second here. But tonight, I was going to be having a friend work on run my layout remotely. So I have my layout all set back up. It's back online, it's running and everything again. And the plan was to have my friend remote in and get that all, run my layout while I was hanging out and watching Paul's stream, and I would be his brakeman, and away he would go. Excuse me. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work out timing-wise. He wasn't able to get off of work in time to get home in a reasonable amount of time that would still allow me to do the stream. But the layout is still set up. So tonight, we're going to take a break from the weathering that we have been doing the last couple of streams, and we are going to jump over to the layout and actually run some trains, which I know, shocking thing. Shocking concept, I know. But, in any case, before we get over there, I want to talk about some development I've been doing for the BNCCS, which the main thing is, as you can see on the screen, the BNCCS is going into intermodal. After chatting with some people in Paul's Discord, decided that it actually would make total sense for the BNCCS to work out some intermodal deals, whether from interchange at Maybrook or from Boston West. There's lots of opportunities. So I've come up with this is going to be the BNCCS's intermodal scheme. It's got the logo on a 45, and around the base of the diamond is the intermodal word mark. So we're going to be utilizing that for all the containers, and I designed two container paint schemes. This will probably be the more common one, but I did want to try, and I like the blue end and the single orange rib. I think that looks nice. So we're gonna keep working on developing the actual plan for this, but yeah, we got intermodal containers for the BNCCS. Until I zoomed in, all you could see was BS intermodal. Yeah. Well, I've gotten that joke about my logo several times, and actually I need to update this graphic because this is actually the old. I need to update my file because I did bring the C's to a much taller size so they're more visible in more recent prints of the logo. So I need to make sure I update this graphic as well. But that's the plan. In addition to intermodal containers, we will in fact also be going into some TOFC service as well. And I did just straight rip the New Haven Trailliner logo because, with the New Haven being part of the BNCCS system, I think it makes total sense to make use of that existing trademark, existing branding. because the New Haven's Trailliner service has been around since the 30s. So it's a branding that, you know, by the 50s or by the 60s, when the BNCCS is really starting to kind of come into its own, and in terms of intermodal, you know, late 60s got really going all in on TOFC service, and then into the early 70s going into or late 70s, I mean, going into intermodal traffic. I think it makes total sense to continue to use the Trailliner logo. So I drew that up in Illustrator, got that graphic available, and we've got the intermodal logo in the top left corner, and we've got two schemes for that, red and blue trailer, and I think those look pretty nice. Any road railers, Ed says. By the way, good to see you, Ed. I think not. Road railers are super neat, and I think they're awesome, but I don't know if I really want to work with modeling them. So, I've been kind of leaning away from them. You're, I think, the second or third person that's asked me if I'm going to be using road railers, so I might have to reconsider it, but I'm going to be sticking mostly with just TOFC for now, because I really love TOFC service. Trailliner, that's nice. Yeah, I can't take credit for Trailliner or the logo or any of that. That's from the New Haven's marketing department. Back in the late 30s, early 40s, they came up with the Trailliners. And I just grabbed the logo off of one of the... You know, I have a lettering diagram for the caboose that includes the Trailliner logo. So I just sketched that out in Illustrator and decided to reuse that. So you don't think there are any models in N scale? There... I think there are. I think it's... what was the company that made them? Not Concord. Hold on. Now I need to look this up. I know there are some. Deluxe Innovations made them. They were not a big run. They're pretty rare. But they are also pretty nice. But also that's part of the reason why I think I wouldn't want to really work on modeling them, because I don't want to I don't know if I want to take those out of the market, so to speak. Yeah, Deluxe, yeah. And Sam has some nice. Yeah, I think they're really cool. I just don't know that I really want to work with them. I think I'd rather stick with just straight TOFC service and straight intermodal, because I think it just keeps things a little simpler for me. Maybe at some point I'll work on figuring out some road railers, but I'd have to figure out the routing for them, because I think they stayed in somewhat regular routes, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I haven't done a ton of research into road railers, which is a big part of the reason why I'm kind of staying away from them. If I do some research, maybe I will, but... Got your box of NMRA promotional materials today to start handing out for recruitment. Awesome. That is great to hear, Sam. Hope that all goes well for you. I think that's great that you're kind of jumping in with both feet. Guy at the club that has an entire 30+ car train of them. That's awesome. But yeah, so anyway, jump back to the intermodal container for a second, because courtesy of the Banu Parts Department, I was, in fact, able to go ahead and get myself 3 Concord Wellcar, or not Concord, no, yeah, Concord, I was right. 3 Concord Wellcars with containers. So I now have, 3 40-foot containers, 3 48-foot containers, and 3 Wellcars that I can work on getting painted and getting into service. saw a clinic about the New Haven Topsy service. It was an older NMRA clinic. I wonder if the reason I got into Topsy service is because at last year's NERPM, Northeast or Northeast / New England Rio Proto meet, I saw a clinic about New Haven Topsy service, and that was what really got me into researching for Topsy. And actually, when we jump over to the layout, I do have a New Haven Topsy car on the layout right now. That's at the Team Track. That's the words. But I wonder if it's because I know that that clinic is like on its like 5th or 6th edition. So I wonder if that's the same clinician, because he also has 3 parts to his clinic. I think it was part 2 that I watched at the NERPM, and part 1 I think I watched at the NERSHA, New Haven Railroad Historical and Technical Association kind of convention last fall. So just curious. I'm kind of curious if that's the same clinician. Anyways, so yeah, I've got some Topsy stuff, and I've got a few Topsy cars, but I think these ones I'm just gonna leave as are, and I will slowly work on getting some nice trailers and some nice cars and getting those painted up. But it's been funny kind of working with some guys in Paul's server to figure out what kind of what the routing would be and stuff like that. So anyways, we're gonna jump to the layout now, and I'm gonna hopefully be able to have you guys all hear me. So I will get that set up here, and we'll jump over there. I just need 1 second. I'm just making sure I have my switch list ready to go here, and then I will be back on stream here. I'm just making sure this is all set up right. Okay. So I'm going to be a little bit echoey here. But I think that should be okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. That's about as best as I can go right now. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let's see if I can go. Sean, good evening. Good to have you. Everyone get ready to do the stadium wave when the train goes by. Yeah, there you go. It's a lot of switching. Hey, Ray. Let me know if you want to run the layout, now that it's all set up for virtual ops again, until I take it all apart again. Sam, so the layout has been relayed, I take it. No. I never quite got around to that. I have almost all the track ready for it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, and I had a bunch of people, because last week on the NERX stream, I was part of a roundtable about virtual/remote operations. And since I was talking about my layout in that a lot, I had a bunch of people reach out to me saying, hey, I'd like to run the layout. When you can get that set up for me. So I figured, what the heck? I'll get it all set up. I'll get it all pulled back together and at least let people try running the layout, get it a little bit more feedback on how the layout runs, and be able to incorporate that into the rebuilding of the layout. So, can you hear me? No. Great. That is excellent to hear. Also, this, I forgot about that. There we go. Let's see. I need my uncoupling pick, which is over here, of course. See, Ed is going to be starting your second shift for 6 weeks. Hey, well, congratulations on the new job. Hope that goes well for you. We'll be sorry to miss you from the streams, but it's good to hear you've got a new job ready, lined up and getting going. Yeah, I know, Dennis. He tends to do that. Ed's funny like that. But anyways, let me pull up my phone so I have my switch list. Open this up. Open this up. Okay, so tonight we are simulating September 15th, 1980, according to my switch list. We've got BNCCS 313 out on the job. This is going to be the first time I'm actually using this locomotive out on the layout, or on any layout really. I've tested it a couple times but it didn't run well, and I had to rework the LED wiring so that it did work well. Let's see, make sure you guys can see everything. Oh, great. This camera appears to not be working. That is excellent. I'm glad I figured that out now and not once the train started running. Let me fix that real quick. Hold on a second. Why is this being... The right side camera, Dennis, is just... It's on, but I've got my hand is currently in front of it, and it sure as heck is not showing my hand, so... I am going to quickly... restart it. Hey, now you can see my camera. Or my hand. Hand over here. Hand over there. So now you can see everything. which is good. So, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how 313 runs tonight. 313 does not have sound. Did I hit the pause button? Yeah, something like that, Dennis. But yeah, so 313 does not have sound, but it does have the functioning beacon light, which you actually can't see right now. It's just off camera, so... Oh boy. Well, the camera froze again, which is fascinating. What is the track layout on the left camera? So the cameras are roughly lined up with what you're seeing on the track diagram at the top. Track diagram at the top is showing me the whole layout, or showing you the whole layout rather. Hey, there we go. All right, I'm just gonna have to keep this on hand here. So now you can see the rotating beacon light on 313 flashing away over there. But first, our first order of business on the train for today is to cut the caboose on the west side of town. Left camera is mirrored. No, it isn't. Is it? It's mirrored. Oh, it is mirrored. You're absolutely right. That explains some things. Thank you for pointing that out, Sam. Let's go ahead and fix that. Transform. Flip vertical. Nope, not vertical, horizontal. There you go. Now it should make a lot more sense. So, yes, there we go. Okay. Well, I'm glad we were able to work that out. Sam, thank you for making that clear. All right, so we've cut the caboose on the west side of town, and we're going to pull the train out into town on the runaround. Oops, a little bit too far. There we go. Okay, so now that we're fully off the main line here, I like to try and do keep all my switch moves off the main line as much as possible. So I think what I'm going to do... Nope, actually, I need that Bangor Rooster car. I am rusty on switching this layout because I haven't done it in months. So we're going to pick up this Bangor Rooster car. Re-rail that. Okay. Nope, actually, alright. Talk about being rusty. Alright. So basically, right now, what I'm trying to do, this Bangor Rooster car needs to be swapped out with this Alta California boxcar right here. That's over at the Balfour Lumber Mill. So in order to do that, I need to bring the train up the industry track and then back down the lumber lead. So I need to clear these cars from the track here. Cheating, no 050. Hey, I just used the 050 to re-rail the car. I went in and actually made the move. With the power. There we go. Let's throw this switch. Let's make sure this switch is thrown. Let's make sure this switch is thrown. There we go. And we can shove the boxcar down the main and head back up to the industry track. So, Sam brought up about me relaying tracks. So my goal with this layout is I need to relay. I'm going to relay 100% of the track. I'm going to pull up basically all of the scenery and everything. I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to keep the track diagram, the track layout the same. The only thing I might change is I might rework the loading docks to be, or the, not loading docks, team tracks to be down to only one team track, but I haven't decided on that yet. This car keeps rolling. Roll back in place. I need to put my wheel chocks out, but I don't know where they are because I haven't run the layout in so long. Okay. Right. Let's reverse back to here. Modify time saver. No, this is actually, I mean, in a sense. Now you know you would have hit the train without that sneaky switch throwing move. Come on. So we're going to pick up this rail box here. What? Couple, dang it. There we go. Oh, those rolled. All right, now let's throw this this rail box down the sort of semi-ladder track. Oh. Come on. Is that really? It's rolling down the hill. There's one of the big reasons I need to relay the track is this is a grade, this is a grade. Basically, so the way this layout is built, it's 3 foam panels. The foam panels end right here and right here. It's 3 2-foot foam panels. And I did not do a good job of making sure that the foam panels were flat when I was actually... I had to replace the couplers on that car, so it's actually got Microtrans couplers. But I need to... When I was putting the panels in, I didn't make sure they were actually flat against the wood structure underneath, so they bowed. They weren't held down enough, so they bowed out quite a bit, leading to some pretty serious grades. Here, 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 and then over here as well. So that's all part of what needs to be rebuilt. Iron Horse, welcome in. Good to see ya. Trackside Mike, don't worry, I'm mostly keeping her on the tracks. Had a couple of derailments, but for the most part. No worries, Iron Horse. Good to have you in for a bit. I am actually doing some switching on my layout for once. Now that I've got the... Oh. Now that I've got the layout back up and running again. What is going on here? Come on. There we go. I don't think I had that one railed right from the get-go. Alright, so I'm going to shove this Alta California car and the BNCCS car down here. I'm going to shove the Bangor and Arusta car back all the way down. Hope those cars don't have light bulbs in them. Yeah, well, it's all lumber. It can all get banged around, right? Something like that. Alright, we'll leave that right there. Let's bring the power out. Then we got to pick up the BNCCS boxcar and stick that back down because it's not done being loaded yet. So we had that as a hold order on that car. Number, toothpicks, yeah, exactly. Hey, when the railroad picked that car up, it had dimensional lumber. What happens by the time, you know, the lumber gets delivered to the customer? That's between the lumberyard and God. What a way to make a really nice mahogany Kindle. Yeah, that exactly. Exactly. Just checking my switch list here to make sure I know what needs to go next. Well, I mean, I gotta respot the rail box first. Good night, Garrett. Thanks for tuning in for a little bit here. It's good to have you. Whoa. Digitrax decoder, I swear. I need to replace it with something else, I think. As much as I hate to say it. I really need to swap this decoder out for something better because this Digitrax decoder just has a mind of its own sometimes. It'll be at stop. Just at full stop. These cars not want to stay on the rails. Why? Hold on, let me check. Ah, that would be why. One of the wheels is not seated right. There we go. Yeah, TCS is what I use a lot of the times. This one was a drop-in Digitrax. And the issue is... The real issue... I mean, Digitrax decoders in general I don't love. But they're drop-ins. But... the issue is that this is one of the seven... whatever, 47 series, whatever their most recent number series decoders are. The 16, it's the 174 or something like that. the 163s or whatever the old ones were, I never had a problem with them. But this new decoder line, it fritzes out all the time. I've had no good experiences with the new decoder line. Yeah, rule 5 or 6 or whatever rule it was. As Mike would say, you got to keep her on the tracks. Right, Mike? Wheel keeps going on the ground. Mechanical shop supervisor. Digitrax does not have a derail function. Yeah, it is. They absolutely do. It's baked in. When your locomotive just randomly goes full throttle forward, that's the derail function, I thought. Okay. So, next thing that I'm going to do, so, scrap gondola, BN boxcar, and the tank car all need to go to these industries up here. So we got to go up through the Y. The tanker obviously is going to Star Gas, and the scrap gon and the BN boxcar are both going on track 1 of the, track 2? Hold on, let me check my diagram. No, yeah, I was right, track 1 of the, team tracks. So I think what I'm going to do, because I needed to keep cars between the tank car and the locomotive, that's one of the rules I wrote onto my switch list. Oh, jeez, Loco almost went off the layout at that. That would have been awful. I have one Kato F40 with the decoder already installed. I've got another one that I need to put a decoder in. I think that one does have a TCS, the one that I have. And if not, then it should be. The other one's definitely going to get a TCS. But especially now that Kato has announced that they are rerunning the Phase 3 F40, the one that I have, the one that doesn't have a decoder in it yet, is going to be repainted to Phase 2. I've decided. Okay, that yawning crowd travels through the internet. Yeah, well, it's contagious. I am going to go ahead this is going to be an interesting switch move because I don't know how. I don't have enough lead room before the west side of town to bring all these cars. Oh boy. Behold, one of the many reasons I need to relay the track. We just completely split that switch. And we did it again. There we go. Let's throw this switch. Let's go ahead and show over here. So did that hitch? No, it did not. There we go. This railgun I just picked up recently. It was actually given to me as a gift, so I'm very thankful to Lee from the Railwire for sending that on to me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to temporarily shove these three down the cement lead so I can reattach this Alta boxcar to the cement covered hoppers that are on the runaround. So I think I started answering this before, but I think I stopped because I got distracted. But this is not a modified time saver. It runs similar in a way to a time saver in that there's, you know, you can, I encourage people to run it again and again to, you know, try and improve their time. But this is a wholly freelance design that I came up with on my own. You know, it's kind of just a generic sort of northeastern industrial area of town. And when I redo the scenery, I'm going to make it a lot more brown. Because as nice as this nice green scenery is, well, I'll probably still have some nice green scenery over here in the kind of downtown portion, or the you know, town portion. But, you know, certainly starting probably around here and moving this way needs to be a lot browner and grayer. Hey Chris, thanks for tuning in tonight. Good to see you as always. Also, these rolled quite far. I'm gonna derail that car just to chalk the wheels. All right, so we're gonna see. Good. We're going to see if we have enough headroom before we hit our caboose. But we'll see. Yeah, blinky, blinky light. Yeah, well, I picked this locomotive, A, because it, you know, I wanted to get some runtime in with the RS11. But B, Paul, because, well, you know, if it was originally going to be run by a remote operator, might as well have a blinky light. And I'm definitely not going to have headroom for this move, so I am going to do this. Iron Horse picked up a B&M HO Woodside boxcar. Rolls-Royce had to change out the coupler. The one was broken, but after replacement, close knuckle. Nice. Sounds good, Dennis. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Have a good rest of your night and good luck waking up in the morning. Sam decided to work on the track planning and maybe laying on the autoplay modules I'm watching, but your roommate is off-key singing 70s country songs. Yeah, that's might be slightly distracting. Just a little bit. So once I relay this layout, when I'm laying it, I'm going to make sure everything is dead level, and I'm going to make sure all the switches roll or play nicely before I do any scenery work at all. That way I can make sure everything runs well. And then I'm going to set the speed curves of the locomotives that I plan on using in this layout, which will probably be an RS11, a Jeep 9, no, Jeep 7. Jeep 7 is what's going to be used on the layout. And then maybe an MP15 will be the 3 locomotives that can be used for the layout. Oops, forgot to throw this switch. And I'm going to set their speed curves to where probably about this is the max speed, which right now this is speed step 12. But I can't quite set the speed curves that low right now because I need the ability to kind of kick it every now and again, because the track work is not good enough for it to consistently run at slow speeds. Let's head back over here. Now we've got the railgun. Now we'll head up the industry tracks to the lead. And then I think first thing we're gonna do, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna switch out the Star Gas. Oh, yep, there's another issue. This has a slight grade to it. I actually do want to leave this as a slight grade, so you do have to go uphill slightly to get to the gas industry. Because I think that's kind of neat, add a little bit of visual interest to, you know, it's not all flat. I just need to make sure it's a more consistent grade, because it's kind of jumps all over the place right now. Sounds good, Iron Horse. Thanks for tuning in. Always good to see you and good to chat. Good luck with that B&M Woodside. Hopefully you can get that running nice. And yeah, see you around. So the other thing I want to do with the gas industry, once I do relay the track and I have everything running well, I'm going to make a big push for scenery, and part of the scenery of the gas industry is going to be a gate, which is going to be about here, roughly, kind of right before the curve straightens out. It's going to be part of a chain link fence that runs around the entire gas industry. And that is going to be something that the operator has to manually open before they can run up and do the switching at Star Gas. I want to add a lot of those little kind of ancillary things. The other thing I want to do is when this coupler has to be high. Yeah, this Railgun's coupler is very high. Okay. Well, that's good to know. But I want to add lots of little things. I want to try and make, you know, once people are operating in person, I want to encourage people to use the Train Crew web app, which is an app from Ed Kapuscinski, who's Conrail 1285 online. He's got a good blog website where the Train Crew app is hosted, but it's a little web app that adds timers and sound effects to things like throwing switches, coupling, uncoupling, checking your airline, all the fun stuff that the actual train crew's gonna have to do as they're doing their switching. Oh boy, what happened to this? How is this coupler just stuck open? There we go. Good. All right, let's leave this tank car here. How long is it going to take to relay tracks and layout? Hopefully not too long. I have everything except for I need one more left and one more right-hand switch. One more left and right turnout. And then I'll have everything I need to relay the track. I have the foam that I'm going to need to refill it. Basically, my plan is to just pop out all 3 foam panels and start fresh from there. I have some cork, although I might see about getting some new cork. We're gonna see how the condition of the cork that I have is, because it's pretty old. Would it be worth to just start fresh and keep this as is? I keep going back and forth about that, Paul. The thing is, I don't know. I keep it because the thing is this thing will run great for a while, and then it'll just start running like crap. Even after I clean it, even after I do whatever. But I would love to, because I would love to have this thing running better. Maybe add a new section. I don't know. 12-inch ATLP knockoff stickers become the new... Yeah, I did see that, Ray. It's honestly pretty funny to me. Seeing just the... You know, oh, it's Photoshop. No, it's real. No, it's Photoshop. No, it's real. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I just hope that it's... I hope it's Photoshop. For the sake of, you know, not vandalizing railroad property. But I don't know. It's funny all around. That is... Alright, we'll just leave it there. It's really weird. Alright, we're going to shove these in. But Paul, back to the maybe connecting in a new section, doing stuff like that, I don't know. The thing is, I don't really have space to connect a new section right now. I'll do a quick little pan for you folks, so you can kind of see what I'm working on here. So, Paul, for your information, the layout is currently on top of the IKEA shelves that you gave me. It's in the corner over here. I'll pan around here. Over there, we are literally on top of the end of my desk. So that's taking up that whole 6 feet. If I wanted to, I suppose I could put it kind of under the window over here, but I was thinking I might try and have a more permanent paint station over there. But I might not. I might reposition it there, but then... And then I could add a new section over here, but I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities, Paul. But... The thing is, I'm just not satisfied with how this thing runs. It just doesn't quite run well enough. It never has run well enough for me to be really happy with it. My plan is to leave the structure, you know, all of the 1x frame intact, and just replace the foam and the layouts. I'm going to salvage all the structures, all of the lights and everything, pull up all the trees that I can. You know, some of this clump foliage, like this patch right here, and some of this stuff down here, I can wet and pull up because it's all just white glued on. Some of the track work can probably be salvaged. But, yeah, exactly, Paul. I've never been super happy with how this thing runs. It's never run well enough for me in terms of, like, literally running. The operations I've always been super happy with. And the other people who have run the layout have said the same thing. It's a good running op scheme, but it's a bad running layout. Knock at the wall. Well, I don't know if my grandma, whose bedroom is on the other side of the wall, would appreciate that. and then the wall the other direction is into the hallway. So I don't know if that's quite going to work either. I do think I want to have an additional section that I can add on to this layout. An additional 2-foot section, because for the NMRA Golden Spike, you need 8 square feet. And this is 6 square feet. Despite the fact that this is, you know, a running, operating, you know, complete little layout, it doesn't meet the 8 square feet of requirement for the Golden Spike. So if I have an additional 2-foot section that I can tag on to the end, a little kind of module, then I can reach that Golden Spike, and then I could do a number of things. I have actually built a little 2-foot stop rolling. It's right down here, actually. I keep thinking about rehabbing this, and I just haven't gotten around to it. This is a little 2-foot city scene that I built. It's just a little diorama, and where the blue foam is, I had structures. Those have all come off. It's got a little industrial canalway. I built it originally to be a little photo diorama. There was I would want to redo this. There was a little warehouse here that I built out of styrene that I wasn't happy with how it looked. But it's got, you know, it's got some pretty nice, some track areas we're pretty happy with in terms of having street running. And I've thought about maybe being able to add this to the west end of the layout, since that's kind of where the road goes, and go into a more urban part of town. I would just need to build some bench work for this to be able to attach onto. And then that would get me my 8 square feet. But I was pretty happy with the base level of scenery on this. It actually, I think it came out very nice. And I keep, you know, I have actually tried connecting it up and running it, but I've never really returned to it. But in any case, I think I might return to this and have this as an additional segment, because it would add one more car spot to the layout. If I don't know if I would replace this with a warehouse, or now that I'm doing Topsy service, this might be a Topsy ramp or intermodal ramp or something. That could work. That could work. I don't know. I keep going back and forth on it. But I think this would be nice to rehab and have as an additional segment. And then I could just build some single-story structures. That way I can continue to use it as a photo scene. The other nice thing about this is, theoretically, I could add another piece of track onto this curve coming off down to the bottom. You know, it's kind of cut off at an angle there, but if I have a reciprocal angle cut on the track work coming in, it could work. In the tops, you take a look at the Crab Orchard and Egyptian and their operations. I found a video talking about it. Okay, I will look into that, Sam. Thank you. Anyways, back to the current iteration of the layout. Think I can do dioramas for the Golden Spike, but I would double check. Yeah, you can. It has to be 8 square feet of operating model railroad. So I actually talked to Bill Brown at the Albany show a couple of years back, and asked him about, you know, if I have this 2-foot little dioramas, if I hook that onto the end, would that count? And the answer was yes. So, and you know, that kind of goes for, you know, you could do T-track modules as well, but it has to be 8 square feet continuous of model railroad. So your train has to be able to be part of all 8 square feet. Because you also, you know, part of that is having 3 types of track ballasted. For me, that would be, you know, your straight track, your turnout, and then I've got a crossing down there, but I also could take into account the street running. I think would count as another type of track work. I have to talk with my divisions AP chair. But yeah. Alright, we're going to leave those there because I need to get my locomotive on the other end. Nope, see, there it goes. Mind of its own. Stop. There we go. So I need to run around those cars, and in order to do that, I'm going to tie them onto the other end of this string of cars. And then run around the whole string. Thank you. There we go. That should do. There we go. Post the video and prototype for railroad history on the server. Awesome, thank you. I will absolutely check that out soon when I get off stream here. There we go. Once you've got the new layout up, you should see if we can program one of my logos for a proto throttle, so we can do. Absolutely, Paul. That could absolutely be doable. %. Well, that's been, yeah. Well, in addition to the fact that they're so expensive. I know you can find deals on them, but they're still so expensive. But the track work has been one of the major things stopping me from getting a proto throttle or getting anything proto throttle ready. Even just because, well, if the layout doesn't run well, the proto throttle's just going to be a hindrance. Oh shoot, I didn't clear the points. There we go. Nope, still not clearing the points. Alright, let's fully clear this. Throw them back and forth. Alright, maybe it's the wheel sets on these cars. I know that car still has stock Rapido wheel sets, which I know people have issues with, so might be that. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and switch what I think is the most interesting industry to switch on the whole layout, which is the Hudson Cement Company. So for Hudson Cement, it's the only industry that I have on the layout that requires more than just, you know, a swap. For Hudson Cement, you need to pick the empties up on track 3 or track 2. No. Yes, track 2. The southernmost track is always track 2. Come on and couple, dang you. There we go. You need to pick up the empties on track 2. You need to spot the cars that are on track 1 onto track 2. Track 1 is the kind of off spot track, and the story is that, you know, this industry was built at a time when cement traffic was down, and now cement traffic is up a lot. And as part of that, they're getting more cars in than they have space to unload on a given day. So they get the extra cars, and the local every day just shuffles the cars around for them. If I had a bigger layout that had more than just the one job, I would have it where there's a switcher for the industry. You know, a 44 tonner or Alco S or something like that. That was, you know, a Hudson Cement Company locomotive that did this shuffle, and then the local train only had to basically drop off the incoming loads pretty much here. But since this is the whole layout, I don't want people to get bored, so... And I don't want people to have to switch power or anything like that. So it's easier to just have the local do all the work. And, you know, if the industry really wanted to go through more cement in a given day, they could always get a track mobile. Shuffle the cars around themselves. So we're going to spot those on the main for a moment. See you around, Sam. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and I will absolutely check out that video you shared. Alright, so we're going to shove these cars down onto their spots. Remember the switch. There we go. Now we can go ahead and rearrange our train. Well, we gotta put these cars back on the train first, but then we can rearrange our train. We can throw our caboose onto the east side of the train, because the town of Balfour here is where this local turns. Town of Balfour, of course, is a fictional town on the west shore of the Hudson. So this local would probably start out of Maybrook. What is up with this coupler, man? Just does not want to play nice. I'm gonna have to check the height on that coupler. Oh boy. I'm really gonna have to check the height on this coupler. What the heck is it doing? Alright. Well, in any case. How many couplers just throw a coupler onto a tractor? Yeah, true. Poor man's trackmobile. Hey, if it works, it works. Oh boy. Sure that's coupled because I don't think it is. Uncouple that. Let's come back onto Caboose. There we go. Nope. I know I threw that switch, so why is it? Thank you. That's thrown. That should have. Yeah, that should have clearance. Right. Let's go ahead and throw turnout. Throw the switch. That way we can chuck the Caboose on the east end of the train. I think I might have to cheat just a little bit here. We're gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna have to cheat a little bit. All right. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna cheat. I got time. I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm just gonna pick up the one car, the one chassis covered hopper here. And we're just gonna leave it on the front side of the locomotive. I ain't no cheater. Part of this issue is that this is a McHenry coupler, which doesn't like to play nice. There we go. Now it's stuck. I don't know what got stuck there. Interesting. Oh, and of course the McHenry. Came uncoupled again. It's all right. There we go. Throw this. It's an EMD Model 40 just southeast of Amsterdam, New York. Looks really rough, but the owner's Crushing Steel Company will not sell it. Can be seen on Google Maps, including Street View. Really? Huh. I might have to go on a Google Street View. Little hunt. For Cushing Steel Company. That sounds fascinating. Oh, and of course we lost half of our train. It's these couplers on these Acura cars have these McHenry couplers, and they do not like to play nice apparently. There we go. Now we've got our train assembled and can return to Maybrook. And stop. So that's the switching job. Took me about an hour or so. Normally it would take me a little less time than that, but I'm A, rusty, B, streaming, C, fighting the layout. But that was fun. It's fun to switch the layout. It really is. Alright, well, I think I might kind of wrap the stream here for tonight. Just because while I can reset all my cameras, it's going to take me a little while to do that. I don't know that it's really worth it just to spend an extra 10 minutes weathering. So I think I might wrap stream a bit early there. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I know I did. It's been a while since I've had the opportunity to really just sit down and switch the layout. So it was fun to get back into that and to do that with y'all. So let's quickly jump back over to my desk. There we go. Okay. There we go. So, I hope you all enjoyed the stream tonight. I know I sure did. If anyone is interested in trying to run the layout, reach out, let me know. I've got it set up so through Y-Throttle. I'll be your switchman, and you all can be the engineers. and have some fun. So if anyone has any feedback on the layout or wants to try it, give me any feedback. I'm super open to that. But I think I'm going to kind of wrap things here. Trains, Planes, and Automobiles, welcome. Unfortunately, you're here right at the end of the stream. Typically, my streams go till 11, but tonight we were operating the layout, so I am cutting things early rather than having to have you guys wait for 10 minutes for me to reset all my cameras up and then only be weathering for about 10 minutes anyway. So I'm wrapping things early tonight, but I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if anyone wants to run the layout. And watch tomorrow. Tomorrow I will have a layout tour up of Kevin Sermon's HO scale New York and Long Branch layout. That'll be coming up on my layout tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, 11 Mountain, 10 Pacific. I'm gonna get that up, and it should be good. So I hope you all can enjoy that. There'll be a few more layout tours coming out over the next several weeks. I'm gonna do one a week. I'm gonna do one this week. Next week will be what's the layout? John Valkovic's Racket Lake Railway in N scale in the 1920s. That'll be coming out next Tuesday, and the following Tuesday will be Chris Adams' HO scale Valley Line, which was a ton of fun to visit and to film. So thank you guys for watching. Keep an eye out for those videos, and I will see you guys all next time. Have a good one, and see you on the next track.